Welcome to the American Garage. Welcome back to the American Garage, and let's take a minute to talk about brake inspection. Now, you want to make sure that your brakes don't wear out on you, so it's good to keep an eye on them. You can inspect your brakes without even touching the car. As you see, I've got my wheels and tires off because we're doing some work to the car today. If you go down to the tire shop to have your tires rotated on a regular basis, and you should do that maybe every 5,000 miles or so, then they're going to have the tires off the car for you. So when you're down there, tell your sales guy that you want to inspect the brakes once they get the tires off the car. Now, this can be done without even touching the car. Let me show you what to look for. Now, there's three things that we want to look for when we're inspecting our brakes. We want to look for the wear of the pads, the wear on the disc, and make sure that there's no fluid dripping from the caliper. Now, I'm looking at the back here, and it all looks dry and it looks black and dusty. That's a good sign, okay? So that means we don't have to worry about our caliper. So let's look at our disc. Now, as the disc wears, it gets grooves in it. Now, these grooves, if they're minor, it's fine. But when they start getting to be deep, then when you take it to the mechanic, he's going to want to resurface the disc, okay? Now, it can only be resurfaced so many times, and then it has to be replaced. Let me show you how they determine that. Now, right here, I have a disc that was from another car that I don't have anymore, and this one was never used. So what they do when they build these is there's a very fine bevel on the side of the disc. Now, that bevel is there for a purpose, and the purpose is when you bring it in and turn it, if you can turn it down and still see some of that bevel there, then you still have a good thickness on your brake disc, and it can continue to be used. Once it grinds down to where it's thinner than that bevel, then you have to discard it. So you're at the tire shop, they got the wheels off, you come in here and you look at it, and you look for that bevel, and you make sure that it's nice and smooth, okay? Not too groovy. So now we have to look at the brake pads and see if they have worn too thin or not. And I'm looking at mine, and there's still plenty of pad in there, so they're going to look great. Let me show you what pads look like when they're worn out. Now, this is a pair of brake pads that are all worn out. Now, you can tell because all the material is ground down, and all you see is really the metal backing. Now, this one is a really great example because not only do you see that it's all worn down, but you see these two rivets. When the brake pad wears down to a certain point, there are rivets inside of the brake pad that once you touch those to the disc, it'll sing. So you hear it go, "Rrrr." They do that on purpose so that you know that it's time to go get your brakes replaced. Okay, so why do we need to go look at them when we got the wheels off? Well, it's a good idea to know when it's coming up so it doesn't catch you by surprise. Now, once they start singing like this, you've got some brake pad left. Not much, but there's enough. Now, let's look at what brake pads look like when they're brand new. Now, this is a set that are brand new. These are a little bit bigger. They go to a different car. Now, you can see the difference in the thickness of the material on the pad itself. So every time you have your tires off your car, take a minute and go and look at the brakes. Make sure that your pads have plenty of thickness and that your discs look like they're in good shape. So you can use this information to go tell your mechanic when it's time to replace your brakes, Or you can do it yourself, and we'll show you another time on the American Garage. Thanks for dropping by.